Hi, everyone. I'm Luann with IASB, and I'm talking with Matt Beaudreau. Matt is going to be our opening keynote presenter at our 2018 convention in November. We're super excited to have you. So, Matt, give us a sense of why is generational kinetics such an important topic for board members to be thinking about right now as the governance leaders of a school district?
Absolutely. So generational diversity has never been at the level it currently is. And what I mean by that is, as board members take a look at all of the stakeholders of their district, from students to teachers to parents to grandparents to the other board members to the community that they're serving, the reality is you're looking at 5 different generations right now. That's never happened before. It was never necessarily supposed to happen. And so what happens with 5 different generations is you have 5 very different perspectives on any given scenario. So understanding those perspectives and preferences, identifying those clues in human behavior is essential to be able to transparently and effectively communicate with one another. Never been more important than it is right now.
And that's such an important concept, but I think it's applicable both as the governance team who represents the community and
Right.
interacting with the community, but also right at your board table where you might have 4 or 5 generational differences as well.
And that's exactly it, because you start having a conversation and 2 people from different generations may be thinking that they're talking about the same thing, but if they both look at that, whatever that thing is, that concept, whatever that is, if they're looking at that from a very different lens and have a very different understanding of what that is, that can create a real issue. But if I can look at it and say, okay, this is how I'm defining that concept, that term, and I understand that you're defining it this way, we can get that transparency out on the table and we can make sure we're all coming from that same vantage point. And ultimately that's just going to help the kids.
Well, and what I love about what you do and what your center does is really looks at the generational diversity as an opportunity. And
Yes.
so you are going to be sharing some amazing information and some real practical and
Yep.
funny tips
Yep.
and strategies for how board members and superintendents can work together more
Yeah.
cohesively and address and leverage generational diversity at our conference. But I'm going to ask you, can you just share one takeaway now for our members to be thinking about between now and November, how they can leverage generational diversity as an opportunity?
Yeah, that's a great question. I love that, and we're going to have a lot of practical takeaways that people are going to be able to start to implement. But one we can talk about right now, we do have 5 different generations, and we're going to talk about all 5 generations. But one of the generations that we'll really kind of hone in on is this millennial generation, and part of the reason we want to focus a little bit on that is because that is the generation that is the largest percent of stakeholders right now, just life stage of where they're at. Um, Understand this about the millennial generation. If you would like to get a quick response, the person is not right in front of you, and you want to get a quick response. And whether this is another board member, whether this is a parent, maybe a superintendent is trying to get a hold of another principal. If you want to get a response from this person, send them a text message. You are going to get the quickest response by far sending a text. If you need to get them on the phone, you really need to have that phone call. Send them a text message first. Say, hey, just need 2 minutes of your time. I'm going to give you a call. Give them that heads up. If you don't give that heads up, the likelihood of them answering the phone is very, very low. They're going to send you to voicemail. Here's the irony there. They don't like voicemail. They're also not going to listen to that voicemail. So if you want to get a quick response, send a text message. Your best bet by far.
Whether that's through your smartphone or a flip phone, or
That's exactly.
it doesn't
That's
matter.
right. And if you have a flip phone, get a new phone.
Okay.
There's another tip.
Well, just one example of the fun that you're going to have at convention, but also the powerful messages and thoughts that you can give us at convention to open an inspiring day of learning on November 15th. So
It's going to
thanks
be
for taking
so
time.
much fun. Oh man, I can't wait. Absolutely cannot wait. Very much looking forward to being with you all.
All right, we'll see you then. Thank you so
Yes,
much.
ma'am. Thanks.